technology correspondent, Janine Machin. And Janine, you've got some big news on what AI means for the East, haven't you?
That's right. In fact, the government has just announced that it is going to be funding the UK's fastest AI supercomputer, and it's been built right here in Cambridge. So what is a supercomputer? Well, in a nutshell, it's a really high-performing one. So if you think of a home computer with a pretty good chip, it can process around about 1 million instructions per second, whereas a supercomputer, thousands of chips, you're looking at more like billions or trillions of calculations per second. So they tend to be used for very data-heavy analysis. The government says this computer will be linked to another one in Bristol, and together researchers will be using those to analyse the safety of what they call advanced AI models and try to get further breakthroughs. We will be seeing it tomorrow, so we'll be able to bring you more information on it. But it is very significant that Cambridge has been chosen for this. The University of Cambridge is very strong on artificial intelligence and has been one of the main contributors to this project. But right across the city, you have organisations which are using AI to solve problems. And in fact, today, this hospital, Addenbrooke's, has announced that it has become the first NHS hospital in the UK to use AI in a procedure for liver cancer.
This is thermal ablation, a treatment which is offered to around half of Addenbrooke's liver cancer patients, less invasive than traditional surgery and becoming more common. A needle or probe is inserted into the tumour and it's then destroyed with heat. It's not a new procedure, but for years radiologists at Addenbrooke's have been trying to make it better.
What we used to do was try and do these cases with ultrasound guidance. The problem we had was that many of the tumours were not really visible on ultrasound or were in a difficult location where we couldn't access them safely. So because of that, we then started using CT guidance,
which helped. But now artificial intelligence has taken it to another level. Using data from thousands of scans, it can more accurately identify the tumour and the margin of healthy tissue around it, which must also be destroyed to prevent cancer regrowth. But that's not the only advantage.
It also enables us to identify major structures in and around the liver, such as the lung or major blood vessels, so that we don't inadvertently put the needle through those. And it also enables us to accurately measure the burn zone after we've done the treatment, so we can assess whether we've done enough or whether we need to repeat the treatment there and then whilst the patient is still asleep, rather than calling it a day, waiting 6 or 8 weeks for a follow-up scan and then deciding you haven't quite got it all and you need to go back and do the procedure again.
Before AI, the consultants had to compare the before and after scans by eye. But as burned tissue, blood and gas can look very similar, it was open to interpretation. Addenbrooke's is the first NHS hospital to use AI in this treatment, and Charles Sykes from Suffolk was one of the first to have it.
If someone hadn't told me that is what I had, I wouldn't have known. And so obviously I'm delighted to know that it was available, because I understand it makes it a lot more accurate and therefore more safe and therefore more effective.
Charles's latest liver tumour was right next to his lung, and without the added AI accuracy, consultants would have been more wary of attempting ablation. Artificial intelligence, though, does bring concerns about job losses, trust in technology, but Nadeem Shaider is confident it is a benefit.
You still need people to kind of run the system and, of course, to put the needle in physically. But I believe, in general terms, that cancer treatments should be standardised and reproducible wherever they're done. And I think that with AI, the bits where there's scope for interpretation or judgment or potential sources of error, I think the chances of that happening are reduced.
This technique is already used for lung, bone and kidney tumours in other hospitals across Europe. Addenbrooke's will now monitor its effectiveness here. They hope it will open up the treatment to more patients, sicker patients, and in many cases, provide a cure.
There are AI projects right across this region, whether it's ways to map the seabed or ways to improve home learning. But this summit, which started today, is about exploring the potential risks of AI and finding global solutions to head those off, because people do have very genuine concerns about artificial intelligence, whether it's the way it can be used to generate images of child sexual abuse, or the way that the data which feeds those AI algorithms is actually collected and stored. Can we trust it? Now, the summit is taking place, as you've heard, at Bletchley Park, the British home of computing, and industry leaders and politicians from right across the world are attending. As you can imagine, it's a pretty big operation. There's Kate Bradbrook.